This weekend, we're at sunny Valencia for the final races in Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS Sprint Cup. Titles to be decided. Silver has already been resolved in favour of Elise and Pierre Jean, but the overall battle is still very much up for grabs, and the teams are set for two dramatic 60-minute races. Charles Weerts and Dries van Thor come here as the championship leaders, and they are looking for 3 sprint titles back-to-back, but they're going to be under tough opposition from Acodis ASP and its lead Mercedes.
We've had to work quite a bit for it. I mean, it's obviously also the new car since this year, so we had to figure out a bit how to work with it and how to get it fast. And the Mercedes have been very strong all season. It's been not easy to beat them, but we did a few times, and I think we are where we are. I think we deserve a bit to have these points. We had to work for it, so hopefully we can end it well.
We already have 2 championships in a row, so let's try to make it 3. We know Valencia is a good track for the Mercedes, and not so much for the Audi, but we also know we have an evolution from last year. So yeah, let's see how it goes, but I believe if we can just be consistent and just score good points and just do our best, we should be in the mix. So yeah, let's see how it goes, but the goal is definitely to be champion, yeah.
3 race wins have gone the way of Timur Boguslavski and Raffaele Marciello this season. Traditionally, they tend to come out on top of race 2, for which Raffaele qualifies. Key to their chances this weekend is going to be the pace of Timur Boguslavski in the qualifying session and how close to the opposition he can stay in the opening stint of the opening race. For Raffaele Marciello then, this is an important weekend.
Yeah, let's say they're quite strong Audi, and they show today like really good speed. It's a good track for them, I think. So it will not be easy, because even if we win both races and they will do second both races, they still will be champion in sprint. But I mean, there is also overall for me. So I will try to speak with Dries and say, you win sprint and you give me overall and endurance. Maybe it can be a good deal.
Early July, Misano Silver Cup wrapped up in favour of Pierre Jean and Elise. That means they come here with no pressure and are looking for a second outright win of the season. The Ferrari has been the class act within the Silver Cup this year, and the 2 young drivers, one French, one Belgian, have been amongst the standouts of what's been an ultra-competitive sprint cup.
We have nice cars with us, the sun, nice track. We're having fun in the car, so yeah, we always try to have fun, and I think is the most important. When you take pleasure in the car, the good times always follow. So I think this is part of the secret. Also, we won the Silver Championship, so this takes out a bit of pressure. We still play something on the overall standing, so we have to be focused and do a good job this weekend. But with the silver title, a small pressure went out going in this weekend.
You don't have a lot of time to rest. As we saw today in the free practice, the lap times are pretty close, so it's going to be close tomorrow in qualifying, and it's going to be very important to start in the front. We can still hope for the 3rd place of the championship, so let's hope for a good weekend, some overall podium, a good qualifying tomorrow morning, and let's hope for a good end to the championship.
Now let's just remind ourselves how Sprint Cup within Fanatec GT works. 2 one-hour races, 2 drivers per car, and that means that there is a mandatory pit stop between 25 and 35 minutes of the race. You have to change all 4 wheels and tyres, and if you're in the overall category, there is no minimum pit stop time. There is in Pro-Am, 61 seconds. Once those driver changes are completed, the car blasts back onto the circuit. The classes, well, there is the overall situation, which is for the pros. Then you've got the Silver Cup, and there is Pro-Am, and you score points within those classes. It means that everybody has something to fight for, and even if you're an AM, you've still got a chance of going home, having been on the top step of the podium. This weekend, 26 cars from 6 manufacturers, Audi, Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, Mercedes and Porsche, are all on the grid. Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS, is part of the global competition. That is led by Mercedes AMG from Audi Sport and then Ferrari. The grid is forming then as the cars make their way from the long pit lane round onto the circuit. It's not the sunniest of days, but it's dry, it's warm, and the teams are about to do battle in this penultimate 60-minute race. It could be that the championship overall is decided in this race if the number 32 Audi can outscore the Acodis ASP Mercedes by a further 6 points. They'd have moved it out of reach going into tomorrow's race. You're looking again at the grid that just scrolls through with Elise and Charles Wirtz on row 1 and Simon Gachet and Peter Schotthorst on row 2. Jim Plough, the best of the Mercedes drivers, on row 3 with Gilles Magnus qualifying well, second in silver. Sixth on the grid ahead of Thomas Neubauer, the silver endurance champion, and Aurélien Panis. Then Dennis Lind and Jean-Baptiste Simonard on the 5th row of the grid. The 6th row is where you will find the cars of Valentino Rossi and Ezequiel Perez Companc, Audi and Mercedes. Then row 7, Luca Giotto's Audi and Eddie Cheever in the Sky Tempesta Mercedes. The 8th row of the grid, Casper Stevenson, which is going to line up alongside Petru Umberescu. Remember Stevenson with the grid drop, he's ahead of Giorgio Roda and Manuel Maldonado. Next up, there is the Porsche in the hands of Adrian Delina, and he is alongside Timo Boguslavski ahead of Hugo Delacour and Miguel Ramos lining up 22nd on the grid for Garage 59. Patrick Kaprinski and Louis Mackils come next, and then the last row of the grid, Danny Cruz and the penalised Alex Arca. Looking back there from the Timo Boguslavski Mercedes, behind is the Ferrari, which is going to be started from the Pro-Am competition by Hugo Delacour. So it is the penultimate race of the year in Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS Sprint Cup. The leading car peels into the pit lane. The lights will change from red to green. The race gets underway. Now they blast away. A good start is made by De Pauw, and Charles Wirtz is being gobbled up, isn't he, on the way down to the first corner. Dennis Lind, a tremendous start in the McLaren. Dives through the middle. They funnel into the first corner. One or two get run out wide, and Wirtz is one of them. De Pauw comes out in front. Everybody else is second, look, because there's a massive gaggle of them all tripping over one another. Dennis Lind has gone backwards as they get to turn 2. They're 3 wide in the mid-pack, and up into second place, by the look of it, has gone Simon Gachet.
And one of the Mercedes got tagged coming through turn 3. I mean, it is an absolute traffic jam on this opening lap. Oh, and again, contact. One of the Ferraris, I think, got tagged going through turn 5. But the lead Ferrari's got that little comfortable gap to the 32 Audi, but oh, look at it's just mad behind.
I think the car that went off was Gilles Magnus in the red Audi, in fairness, but he survived it as way out wide there around the Mercedes. They're going to have to pay to get back in. They're going so wide, but it is up front, Elise De Pauw, that leads the way down. This is Boguslavski's view. He's trying to carve his way through the traffic, but it's not easy.
It was just side by side. Valentino Rossi on the outside of the Sky Tempesta, Mercedes AMG GT3 going through that long turn 10. And so watching yet again, it's acceleration brake. It's watching on board from Eddie Cheever, looking forward to the rear of the sister Mercedes.
So up towards the end of lap 1, we need to see where Wirtz is in the order. We need to see where Boguslavski is, but the leader is Elise De Pauw. Second place, it is Simon Gachet's Audi as they come across the line. The Ferrari still trying to warm up the tyres as they come through. Charles Wirtz is third then, look, as they come across the line. In 4th place is the McLaren of Dennis Lind. In 5th place is Jim Plough. 6th there, the Audi of Peter Schotthorst. Neubauer is 7th. 8th is Panis. 9th is Giotto. 10th is Stevenson. And Boguslavski is in 16th place.
Yeah, and he was almost trying to make it 15th. He couldn't quite get alongside the Audi into turn 1. So he backed out of it wisely, because any contact would be the race and the possible championship over.
That, in the pit lane, is Patrick Kaprinski, and we've lost Adrian Delina's Porsche. I can see it out of our window. It's facing the wrong way. It's hit the barriers, heading up towards
turn 12.
And the car is going no further. The yellow flags are out in that sector. You can see that reflected in the graphics on the screen as the cars then now make their way towards the incident zone. Safety car being deployed then. Safety car deployed. That sort of helps. Marcello, that is what I was talking about before the race, of having the cars closer together for his stint, and that, in a very badly damaged state, is Adrian Delina's Porsche. He's okay, as you can see, but the car is rather less so.
Yeah, the rear end of the car must have gone backwards into the barrier.
Replay of the start, John.
So a good start by the Ferrari. Charles Wirtz tries, but look, coming up through the middle is a McLaren, and there's a whole sort of swarm of Audis all diving into turn 1, and it would be Simon Gachet that comes out in 2nd place. I mean, it's a very wide entrance. It's a wide exit. We saw how wide it was. Look at 6 cars wide coming down. I mean, I've never seen as wide a field of cars, but there it is. Actually, Dennis Lind just about managed to avoid contact with Simon Gachet, and maybe the loser momentarily was Charles Weerts.
And then there was this scramble. Have a look at the red Audi. Gilles Magnus goes diving up on the inside, out breaks himself, slithers off the road. That's what we've seen from outside. And also going off the road behind one of the two Garage 59 McLarens. Now, which one was that? That was Manuel Maldonado.
Green.
And Dennis Lynn glued to the rear of Charles Weerts. Simon Gachet trying to do much the same. So there's a gap now between second and third place. I don't know why Charles Weerts allowed that to open up, but anyway, there we are, and certainly out of the top 6, no clear benefit or advantage. Again, Elise just putting a little bit of heat into the tires to guarantee when he turns in. Look at the McLaren having a sniff up the inside of Charles Weerts.
Well, we know that Dennis Lynn is always determined, so the reigning British GT champion, he's been the Fanatec GT Asia champion, he has been Lamborghini Super Trofeo champion, drops back a little bit coming out of turn 2. Weerts on the attack now against Simon Gachet, but Dennis Lynn under braking tries to claw back the lost time. He is taking with him Jim Pla in 5th place. Remember, Bogostowski is down in 17th and has got work to do, and the other Porsche there is in strife because being forced out wide is Giorgio Roda, and he's in danger of losing another couple of places. The Audi right there on his tail, Alex Arca up from the back of the grid.
I think some of this we're seeing maybe with the McLaren, certainly with the Porsche, lack of front tyre temperature tags, the back of the 90 Mercedes, and on contact between the Porsche and the Mercedes, and that was clearly just the one car, the Porsche, getting into the back of another car, the Mercedes, up at turn 8.
Petru and Barescu in the Mercedes. Damage to the Porsche, looks like a punctured tyre, so the Porsche limps on, but it's been a really miserable first few laps for Dynamic Motorsport. One out of the race with lots of damage, one heading for the pits. Now, on board with Weerts, his stint is coming to an end because the window will open in just over 4 minutes' time, and he's absolutely determined now to get past Gachet, who dare one say is the cork in the bottle because he's got the ball queued up behind him.
Yes, but Gachet has not enabled Weerts to find a way around past. He can close, he can catch, but he hasn't been able to. And here, coming through turn 13, you can see how much the gap opens up now onto the brakes. Again, the car with it closed down, but here, Weerts slightly wider than Gachet that time into turn 14.
And off the road is the Mad Panda Mercedes, I think that is. So Ezequiel Perez Companc is off the racetrack, back on board with Weerts. Pit window is open. Now, are we going to get a safety car with that off the circuit? And now the teams that gamble could come out as winners.
So Dries van Thor standing there waiting for Charles Weerts to come in and hand the car over. So I suppose one might say there's no surprise that WRT will take the earliest opportunity, and waiting to see when they come through the exit of turn 14, whether that will be followed by Simon Gachet, and both are in. No, Gachet has come in, so Weerts stays out.
So what that has now done is give him second place, but it's also given him a clear road ahead, so he can now push to try and reduce that gap before he does pit.
I wonder, was that WRT playing a joker to encourage stress about car auction, or car collection, to bring their car in, and maybe they've sold them a dummy?
We need to see where that Mercedes is in relation to the edge of the road, and at the moment it's all being covered by a yellow flag rather than any suggestion of the race being neutralised. So the wheels are changed on the Mercedes. Jim Pla giving way to Tristan Vautier. Away it blasts. Into the pits has come the race leader. Into the pits has come Charles Weerts as well. So De Pauw and Weerts, the two Belgian drivers, are in. Pierre-Alexandre Jean ready to take over the Ferrari. And at WRT, Charles Weerts now being replaced behind the wheel by Dries van Thor. So, does Christopher Haase maintain track position over Dries van Thor? We shall find out, because that car, number 11 Audi, is on track. Its pit stop time was 48.7 seconds. And that is a good stop, actually, of those that we've had thus far. 48.7, but 32 Charles Weerts blasts away. And looks like he's going to drop back behind Haase. Here comes the leader then, Pierre-Alexandre Jean. There is Christopher Haase on the inside, goes back ahead of the WRT Audi.
And they actually, the car collection pit stop was 0.3 of a second quicker than WRT. So, I mean, nothing lost or gained in effect by either team, and both teams did excellent jobs in turning the cars round to get them back out and status quo.
One or two of those cars running wide in the background are coming out of the pits. Others are very, very wide. So battle is on here. Look, you've got Tristan Vautier trying to keep at bay now the McLaren number 112, Vincent Abril at the wheel of it. They run nose to tail. Both have made their pit stops. Dennis Lynn giving way to Vincent Abril. But Pierre-Alexandre Jean leads the way then. But the gap is down, isn't it? So that pit stop was a slow one, 52.9. It was a slow stop. They've still got the lead, but PAJ is going to have to go for it now and try and build up that margin again. The pit window is now closed, so everybody that's still in the race has served their stop. And drama there, because that is a Mercedes off the road. It's that Marchiello's car. It is 88 Tristan Vautier who has been off the road. He's back on again, so Vautier drops back. That will give Marchiello another place, but Vautier off the circuit.
Yeah, and turn 8, don't know whether that was an assist or whether it was a self-induced spin, but Tristan Vautier, let's wait and see. Well, you can see up the inside the McLaren, yes, there's going to be a tag from the McLaren, just ever so light, but doesn't matter. The car's at the very delicate point of the turn-in, and that is a reason why the Mercedes is in the gravel.
Full course yellow now.
So full course yellow. And it's all to do with this Mad Panda Mercedes. Now, it's been there for about 7 laps, but now I think the race director has decided it's got to be moved. You can't keep a yellow flag there for the rest of the race. So full course yellow, but it's taken us a while to get to that point, but we're there now to move that out of the way. Now, if you follow Fanatec GT, you'll know that the process is that if it's a long-ish full course yellow period and tyre temperature and pressure drops, we go safety car to quicken the pace, ready for the restart. So I would envisage that we will go safety car again. Now let's have another look at how the Mad Panda Mercedes got there.
Runs
back.
Strange. Just
something break as he hit the curb?
Don't know. He sort of made his apex, ran the curb, and then the car just more or less took off on its own trajectory.
Green flag, green flag.
So we go racing, and straight away, Pierre-Alexandre Jean tries to build that lead. The Ferrari really good in a straight line. Second, then is Hauser. Third is Van Thor. Fourth is Goethe. And there, Niederhauser and Marchiello go through turn 1 absolutely together, riding on board with Raffaele Marchiello. Patrick Niederhauser defends. Lello goes to the outside line, dives up towards turn 2, gets run out wide. The Audi comes back at him on the inside. Marchiello has got to throw everything at this. He's got 15 minutes in which to keep alive his championship hopes, and he's in danger of losing a place now because there, Christopher Mies has a go at him.
So it gets through, and that was, it started all on the way up into turn 2. So 1 position gained by Marchiello. And Christopher Mies, well, not much he could do about it. He defended in turn 2, but inevitably Marchiello, a force to be reckoned with. And
a bit of contact in the background there. We had Cedric Sprazioli bouncing off Christian Kleen. Now, what's happened to Dean McDonald in 188? Because the Pro-Am leader has dropped to last in class. So we've had dramas on that previous lap. Cedric Sprazioli's Ferrari now leads Pro-Am with Christian Kleen alongside him. But Dean McDonald, who was leading, has fallen to last in Pro-Am on that restart lap.
And there it is.
And there's drama, even more drama, because that's involved Andrea Bertolini as well.
Oh dear. So contact coming. Let's watch and see what happens. Where's the...
So the field pulls through.
They're coming to... There they are now. Well, the Ferrari and the McLaren side by side.
They touch. It almost looked like they just spun in sympathy.
If there was a touch, it was a very light touch, but it's difficult to see. There's certainly air between some parts of the car.
And Dries Van Thor in 3rd place, waiting to see what pans out ahead of him. So Pierre-Alexandre Jean leads, coming up towards the timing line. Can he hang on in there for another 6 minutes and change? Over the timing line they come. A flying lap is just over 1.5 minutes. Do the maths as to how many more laps we're going to get into the race. Into turn 1, the Aspar. Left-hander they go. It is Ferrari, Audi. It is Jean, Hauser, Van Thor. That is the order.
I think Pierre-Alexandre Jean might have regrouped sufficiently, but look, Christopher Hauser still feels there's opportunities. But Ferrari, what's the gap? It was 0.3 of a second when they came across the line. It's irrelevant. You can't get an awful lot closer without actually overtaking. Watch Marchiello, is he going to make a move up? Had a little look to see whether he could find a way around Niederhauser. So he hasn't given up.
No. And this is his chance, isn't it? But look, Niederhauser again knows exactly where to put the car. Covers off the inside line. Marchiello to the outside. It's a long way round, but he's going to have a good go at it. The road might come to him on the next corner, but Niederhauser runs him out wide. Marchiello keeps his foot in. Outside for the next corner, the inside for the hairpin, and through he goes. Raffaele Marchiello dives up the inside into turn 11, and through he has gone. Brilliant bit of driving. Raffaele Marchiello started it 3 corners back, stood his ground, let the road come to him. all of that hard work is only for 9th place, but Raffaele Marciello, with 3 minutes to go, has not given up. And this was the move to the outside line, John.
Very difficult to go in the long way around. Niederhauser, in fairness, didn't run him off the racetrack, albeit he put a couple of wheels off. But once they got into this sequence of left and right, you could see the Audi was then the car that was wrong-footed. Mercedes up the inside, consolidates, controls the racetrack, and job done.
So I think it's job done for Dries Van Voor, for Charles Weerts, for Vincent Voss's WRT team. For 3 in a row in Sprint Cup. It's going to come down then to the penultimate race, not the ultimate, but that means that we've still got another good race to look forward to from a grid we don't yet know how it's going to form, because it's qualifying tomorrow morning for that. So now there's the silver champions, Pierre-Alexandre Jean and Elise de Pauw, looking for a second outright win of the year. The third car, Dries Van Voor and Charles Weerts, looking for their 3rd Sprint Cup title in a row.
Van Voor has dropped back marginally. And I think likewise Christopher Hauser feels that I've given it the best I've got, but the Ferrari today just had the legs of all of us, and well driven by both Pierre-Alexandre Jean and Elise de Pauw to score a victory.
Last lap of the race, Raffaele Marciello, absolute best first sector, but it is going to be a race win in Fanatec GT for Pierre-Alexandre Jean and Elise de Pauw. It is going to be a 3rd Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe powered by AWS Sprint Cup title for Dries Van Voor and Charles Weerts, 3rd across the line, and that is enough to give them the championship 3 in a row. And Charles Weerts, as you can see, is absolutely delighted.
No, a great job by a superb team and a very good driver lineup.
But let's first of all hear from Elise de Pauw and Pierre-Alexandre Jean, race winners at Valencia, and they are with Gemma.
Congratulations, boys. That was a fantastic race. So much pressure on you throughout. You had no chance to back off.
Yeah, honestly, stint was not easy. Ulysse did a mega job like this morning. He gave me a good car, which was important because every time we lose a bit on the stint, even though the guys did a mega job. Yeah, it was hard, as was pushing behind. During the safety car, I lost the front pressure, so it was hard to get them back at the restart. Also, all the first part of the scene, I had to manage the yellow flag when you can improve. So that was not easy because I had better tires and better fuel than Ulysse. And I was improving, but I had to lift every time in front of the line. And also, last warning at the end was not easy to manage, but at the end, it finished positively with the win. So very happy. Thank you to F. Corset, Ulysse, my sponsors, and everybody.
Congratulations, well done. And Elise, a quick word from you as well, of course. We saw the elation on your face right at the end there.
It's just amazing. It's the reward of a big season. We showed so much consistency. We started off with a win and a pole, and we kind of ended off with a pole and a win again at the overall with the Silver Crew. So it's just amazing. Thank you to everyone. It feels great, and now we have to try to do the same tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well done once again. Thank you.
Charles Weerts, Dries Van Voor then are champions. Timur Boguslavski, Raffaele Marciello 2nd. And then the fight's on for 3rd. That'll go down to the wire tomorrow because Elise de Pauw and Pierre-Alexandre Jean are just ahead of Simon Gachet and Christopher Hauser. And on the top step of the podium are the AF Corsa drivers. The team is represented on the podium as well. So the team's trophy is presented as Manuel Ivino, the RFEDA president, steps forward to give the winners' trophies to Pierre-Alexandre Jean and now to Elise de Pauw. Let's just have a look at the points in Pro-Am. Champions, Miguel Ramos and Dean McDonald, with Andrea Bertolini and Louis Machiels now 2nd, but they're only 3 points ahead of Cedric Sprazzuoli, who's 1.5 points up on Patrick Krupinski and Christian Klein. So again, for 2nd and 3rd and 4th, there are battles to be resolved tomorrow when we have that final race of the season underway. And then the winning team, JP Motorsport, will receive its trophy, and the winning drivers will receive theirs. So it'd be great to see, wouldn't it? Christian Klein fighting for an outright win, but putting behind the wheel of that McLaren, and he doesn't half fly.
It's been a progress. Look, McLaren, the 720S, has certainly come forward, and at different points during the season, whether it was the Garage 59 or the JP Motorsports cars, they've shown either great straight line speed or good lap speed, and maybe it takes another season for them to get to the position where they can start challenging on a regular basis for top podium steps.
So after a sunny Saturday, it's a soggy Sunday. We've had quite a lot of rain late morning through lunchtime. The track is wet. Raffaele Marciello starts alongside Dries van Thor at the front, ahead of Nicolai Schiergaard third and Patrick Niederhauser fourth. Dennis Marschall's Audi will start fifth. And then the better of the Porsches, that of Klaus Bachler, goes from sixth, ahead of teammate Christian Engelhardt. Eighth is where you find Christopher Haase. Starting ninth, Pro-Am champion Dean McDonald. He outpaced Christopher Mies in qualifying. He outpaced the JP Motorsport Pro Class car of Vincent Abril too. Then it's Mathieu Drudy ahead of Thomas Drouet. Benjamin Goethe, silver combined champion-elect, having won it in endurance already. He's going from 14th on the grid, ahead of Christian Klein, Pro-Am winner yesterday. Then, with a lot of work to do after a grid drop, Fred Verviche 16th, ahead of Fabian Schiller, whose car retired yesterday. Cedric Sprazzioli is next, then Tristan Vautier and Igor Walilko, who was in the wars yesterday. Only 21st, the silver champions, Pierre-Alexandre Jean, Ulysse de Pauw, alongside Nicholas Bart. Nicholas Schurl goes from 23rd. He's got a lot of work to do to keep the Silver Cup hopes alive. Andrea Bertolini alongside him, then Chris Froggatt and Josh Kreuger at the back of the grid. And now that the cars are circulating, you get an idea of how much spray is being generated from those Pirelli wet tyres. And now on a greasy circuit then, let's find out who is going to come out on top. We get set to go racing. The Mercedes on pole position, Raffaele Marciello, the championship-winning Audi alongside Dries van Thor and Charles Weerts. They rumble their way up towards the timing line on instruction. The lights will change to green and we go racing, and a really keen start there. Look for the Porsche in the background. Christian Engelhardt is on his toes. 3-4 wide, people trying to gain ground, people trying to gain visibility as well as they hammer down towards the first corner. Look back, Marciello has got the lead. Van Thor has been mugged as they dive down to the first corner. Nicolai Schiergaard goes second, and a good start also there by Patrick Niederhauser to go third. Looking back from Marciello's Mercedes, he leads. Niederhauser there behind in second place, but where is Schiergaard in the McLaren? He's up the inside line. The Mercedes leads and everybody else is trying to be second, but it's Niederhauser who just gets ahead. Van Thor goes back up to third. Schiergaard fourth as they come through turn 4, and drama so far is averted.
Managed to get through the first 3 corners without any incident whatsoever, but very close. Everybody being probably more cautious than they anticipated they would be. But Raffaele Marciello's had that dream start. He's got clear visibility, and behind it's a battle of the Audis. Oh, well, there's one of the Ferraris. That
21, yeah. So that's the Delacour Sprazzioli Ferrari that's had a drama, and he's heading to the pit lane, potentially Cedric Sprazzioli at the wheel of it. Marciello leads then as they come here through turn 8. And you can see they're still squabbling behind, drivers looking for the grip. And sometimes, John, isn't there a little bit more grip on the outside of the line? The leader across the line, Raffaele Marciello, at the end of lap 2, the first racing lap, he is getting away then from Patrick Niederhauser. He's nearly 2 seconds to the good already.
Yeah, now it's easy-ish for Marciello. He had a great start, got into turn 1 and cleared off. So all he has to do is focus on what he needs to do to stay ahead and pull forward, while all the others essentially are having a battle. Dries van Thor has actually managed to pull a little bit down the inside, the Porsche and the Audi. Well, Porsche's made it work.
That was Klaus Bachler, but he got his elbows out and he's gone through. And also, look, here comes Christopher Mies to get up alongside the Audi as well. So Mathieu Drudy there loses out. The Audi couldn't quite find a way through. Now to the outside line dives Vincent Abril, looking to buy into this as well. Benjamin Goethe's Gulf liveried Audi is there. Look at Abril going to the outside line up towards turn 6 now. Again, hunting for traction, being careful not to leave the door open. Tries to go all the way around the outside of Christopher Mies, gets sideways up the curb, but it didn't work. Up towards the line they come, 48 minutes of the race to go. Marciello is now 4 seconds to the good. Second and third go through, Niederhauser and Van Thor, then Schiergaard. Engelhardt's Porsche running 5th, small gap back, 6th there, Dean McDonald. Pro-Am car 6th overall, and a Pro car 7th. That is Dennis Marschall.
Yeah, Dennis Marschall will be looking every which way to find a way to get around Dean McDonald. Look, you can see the way they're both moving around, one defending, one attacking. Likewise, the 56 Porsche looking to find its way to get through Klaus Bachler to get past Christopher Haase. Dean McDonald, I mean, wherever he goes, he's shadowed by Dennis Marschall, and clearly, to me, the Audi is the quicker of these 2 cars. And this time manages to get up inside, but will he be out positioned up the hill? And looks like Dean McDonald's going to just about manage to hold up, but it'll be the undercut on the exit, or it's the overcut on the exit. So Dennis Marschall sweeps around the outside, takes the place away. Good clean pass, good overtaking by racing by both drivers.
The leader, by the way, Raffaele Marciello, 5 seconds to the good. Mies now is on the back of Drudy, so it's a 4-way battle pack this, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th places. Bachler defends, round the outside comes Mies, then tries to go all the way around the outside of Drudy, and again a bit more grip on the outside pays dividends. So there, Raffaele Marciello is up at turn 6. Look at the lead he has pulled, which suggests perhaps that Patrick Niederhauser is holding up Dries van Thor a little. And look at the line behind him, because Sheargard is being caught by Engelhardt and taking Dennis Marshall with him. So 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all in a queue. Now again, what have teams done? We talk about tyres, but in terms of a setup, some may have gone for a wet setup, some have gone possibly for a setup that is better for the sort of intermediate, in-between conditions, and Vervish is in a fight here.
But Vervish, can he squeeze? He has. He's managed to get through. So that was just big. Well, said, I'm there and I'm not going to move, and the Porsche's on the outside coming into a tight, or a tightish. Somebody's gone off actually in turn 8. One of the, I think it might be one of the Audis actually ran wide in turn 8. Just this group of cars following.
Yeah, it's the Gulf Audi, in fact. It was the silver leading car in the combined championship. The endurance winners, Thomas Neubauer, Benjamin Goethe's car. Benjamin Goethe at the wheel that has run wide. We can just see in the distance from where we are. But you are on board right now with Frederik Vervish then. He's still on the attack. Swoops now towards the completion of lap 12. Race leader goes through. There's Vervish then, right on the back of Mattia Drudi. Comes off the corner. Pulls the trigger now, launches the car down the pit straight. Another 2.5 minutes or so, and you can anticipate the pit window to be open on that part of the circuit. Spray hangs in the air. This was the replay then. Drudi is ahead of Vervish. Backler is ahead of both of them. And as they go up towards turn 6, oof, that was Drudi getting into the back of Backler. No wonder he went out wide. That was quite a hit.
Oh, up the inside, Marshall getting slide through. Well, a little bit of a hip and shoulder, and he gets the job done.
Let's see if anybody does dive for the pit lane this time. 7th is Dean McDonald. 8th on his tail is Haaser, who does come in. That's a surprise, maybe. Christopher Haaser in first of all to give way to Simon Gachet.
So that's maybe one of the less likely ones. There's the Ferraris are coming in. No, it stays out. It's one of the two JP Motorsport McLarens likewise comes in as well. So it is Christopher Haaser, and that's well, the car makes its way down the pit lane.
Yeah, and the McLaren is Vincent Abril to give way to Dennis Lind. Right, so sit back and enjoy. Dennis Lind on a damp circuit, fantastic.
Monza, got 4 or 5 years ago with the rain, absolutely stellar. So in the meantime, Dennis Marshall still pursuing Sheargard.
And off he goes. Wide goes Sheargard.
Easy overtake, just somebody overdrove into turn 8, and there you are, a gift horse, never look it twice in the mouth.
Now look at this, so many are diving in, others dive out, so pit lane a very busy place. Leader is in with 27 seconds, 26, 25, 24 seconds of the window to go.
So timed to perfection, done a great job, 16.5 seconds advantage. So look at this battle. So Gachet having to come to terms with these conditions, and Olivier Panis, well, he's the one, sorry, coming to terms with the condition. On board with Dries van Thor, likewise comes in with, what, 7 seconds of the session before the window closes.
That was marginal, wasn't it?
That was.
There is Timur Boguslavski then, who will rejoin with a healthy advantage. Charles Weerts gets away now. So down the pit road he goes.
Well, the Mercedes pit stop was a 49.2 second pit stop. What is it for the number 2 Audi?
Number 32 Audi, 46.9, so much quicker stop again from WRT. Car Collection did a good stop for Simon Gachet as well, because they turned number 11 round in 48.3 seconds, so they've also gained some time. Now there, look, is Adrian Delina, who is up into 4th place now, having taken over from Christian Engelhardt. Behind him is Gachet, behind him is Panis, but of course now we're going to see what the gaps are in real terms between Boguslavski in the leading car, Charles Weerts in 2nd place. Peter Schotthorst takes over from Dennis Marshall in number 66.
And up the inside goes Chris Frogger, a clean and easy pass on the Ferrari, unexpectedly so.
So Miguel Ramos here in the McLaren, losing out to Christian Klein. That means we've had a change of lead in the class. Patrick Krupinski rather in Christian Klein's car. So Krupinski now leads in Pro-Am. 99 is the Alex Arca Nicholas Scherl Audi. Valentino Rossi is back into the pit lane. On a dive there up the inside. Charles Weerts loses out because through on the inside line goes Simon Gachet. Now he's 32 on slicks as well. Have WRT gambled for Charles Weerts and put him onto slick tyres. It looks as though that's another car struggling for traction.
Yeah, that was again, that's a big gamble, man. They've won the championship. They can afford to take a risk because it's not going to have any effect on the overall championship positions. But it's a big ask for Charles Weerts to keep the car pointing in a straight line.
Thank you, says Adrian Delina. He goes ahead of the new champion, picks up the place.
Yeah, I mean, very straightforward and easy overtake. So that's the difference between wet tyres and slick tyres. So let's watch and see.
Yeah. Well, they are. Slick tyres going on in the replay in the pit stop.
And Dries van Voor having a look at those tyres as well to think, oh, really? Are they putting them on slicks?
That's Delina. Adrian Delina has lost it. He was in 4th place. He's not anymore. He's getting the car going again. But Adrian Delina has had a lose coming onto the pit straight. Panis has taken 1.2 seconds out of the lead in the first sector alone. Now, in fairness, without wanting to be unkind about this, we know that Boguslavski is not much yellow pace. Maybe Timur Boguslavski is just being ultra cautious. Maybe that's why his lap times are going up. But I'll grant you, that doesn't explain why Panis is going purple, 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 sector, sector, sector. And there you can see how the gaps have been coming down, how the lap times have been quicker, quicker, quicker by Panis over the last 3. And the last lap was the best of the race as the road dries. But of course, they're having to cope with a drying track on wet tyres. And it's not wet anymore, it's just greasy. Now, we've just had a fastest lap of the race done by Charles Weerts. So does that tell you that the road is dry enough for the slicks to work? And he should be 1 place higher than that by the end of the lap. Look, as he tries to make his move now up against Ezequiel Perez Companc in the Silver Cup Mercedes. Through on the inside goes the Audi. But again, Companc doing the right thing there. That's not his battle to have. So he lets the Audi go. So Aurélien Panis has got 2 corners to go on this lap. Is he going to be able to get through? This is turn 13. He's closing, closing, closing. The move might come down towards the turn 1, left-hander at the start of the next lap. 31 laps in the book, 3 minutes to go. We're going to get 2 more laps out of this race as a prediction. Over the line they go. Aurélien Panis does not lead by the end of the lap, but he is oh so close to the back. He's 0.3 of a second away as they dive down towards turn 1.
Yes, tries, had a look down the inside, but Boguslavski is using everything he's got. He's using the size, the physical size of the Mercedes to stop Panis getting through.
And Charles Weerts' new fastest lap of 38, as now Aurélien Panis gets a bit of a squeeze to the outside line. Is there more grip round the outside? He's got to be careful not to get into contact here. Boguslavski hangs on to the race lead. Now these cars are losing 6, 7, 8 seconds a lap now to Charles Weerts, who is only 14 seconds back. He's not going to get the lead in time, but he might be on the podium as again Panis here challenges right round the outside. He tries to go, coming off turn 8 into the S's now. It is when, not if, Panis gets the lead, because Boguslavski, yes, he's defending manfully, but he can't hang on for another 2 minutes surely with the Mercedes squirming around like this on the road. Panis to the outside, he's sideways. Does he get the drive off the corner? He gets up the curb. They're still nose to tail. Boguslavski may not be as quick, but boy, does he drive a wide car.
Well, he's doing everything he can to defend his lead, and what he's successfully managed to achieve up until now is to stem the pace that Panis has had. Now Panis is running at the lap time the Mercedes is, and that's taken away all the advantage he's enjoyed up until this point.
They're about to start the last lap, so Aurélien Panis now has 14 corners in which to get the race lead. The move might come again at the end of the pit straight, but this is where the Mercedes has the advantage. Through they go. Fastest lap of the race, Thomas Neubauer. The lead gap was 0.3 last time. It's 1/10 this time. Panis again looks to the inside. Boguslavski's Mercedes has a little slide heading down towards turn 1. Aurélien Panis has brought the gap from 25 seconds to about 25 millimetres up towards turn 2. Again, he closes right up, goes for the inside line. Is he going to be able to get off the corner ahead? He's oh so nearly sprinting up the inside. Charles Weerts is 5 seconds behind them in 3rd place. 5 seconds back is Weerts. He might get up there with them by the end of the lap.
Well, the pace he's running at, he will do, because this is being dictated to totally by Boguslavski, who's now hogging the inside into turn 5 to prevent Panis, to stop Panis getting his momentum. There you can see number 32 coming up. 32 is going to be in this race coming up to turn 14 and maybe across the start-finish line. Charles Weerts has got the advantage, the drive, the speed of turn 6 through turn 7 down into turn 8, and Charles Weerts is on course to take a victory, an unbelievable victory.
Nose to tail, Timur Boguslavski and Charles Weerts, who has come back from nowhere on these slick tyres. He gets up the inside, the door is closed, and Aurélien Panis is trying to fight back. Boguslavski still has to defend. Here comes Panis for a go on the inside. To the outside line goes Charles Weerts. It's all about grip coming off the corner. Boguslavski gives him room. Weerts goes round the outside and he leads. They're still side by side. Boguslavski fights back, but Charles Weerts has done it. Charles Weerts goes through. What a race. A delighted Vincent Voss sees Charles Weerts come back into the mix. Whoever it was that did call for the slicks is right after all. Down they turn to the last corner. Panis still can't get past Boguslavski, but Charles Weerts comes up towards the checkered flag. Boguslavski goes out wide. It's a drag race to the line. Panis finally gets ahead of him. Charles Weerts and Dries van Voor win. Second, it's a virtual dead heat as they come across the line. And second place confirmed as Aurélien Panis by 1/10 of a second. Timur Boguslavski is 3rd. We never saw that one coming as we watched 32 tumble down the order, but Charles Witz and Dries van Thor win on a slippery Valencia circuit. Pan is second, Boguslawski third, Gachet fourth, and there is Ezequiel Perez Compact, who wins in silver. He got ahead of Manuel Maldonado at the end of what turned out to be an extraordinary race.
Well, Angus, nuts all the way through, and what the WRT team did, they rolled the dice, they took a gamble, they had nothing to lose, they'd won the championship, but what happened in those closing laps, the pace of the slick tire, vis-a-vis the reduced pace of Aurelian Panis, because he got trapped behind Boguslawski. Boguslawski doing all he could to defend his position, did it fairly and cleanly, and that gave Verts the opportunity. Coming 5 seconds a lap quicker, he just gobbled up those two cars in the space of one lap.
I still want to know who at WRT, as there Charles Witz celebrates with donuts, I want to know who at WRT made the call, because if it's one of the engineers, they're on for a pay rise. Charles Witz and Dries van Thor winning in the end by 1.9 seconds. So not only did they catch, not only did they pass, but they pulled away, or Charles Witz pulled away to win by 1.9 seconds. And our Sprint Cup champions round out the year with another victory.
There you go. Look at Van Thor. Absolutely delighted. Now, unpredictable races always are the most exciting to watch, and that was about as exciting as one. I think we've certainly, this year, that's going to be, for me, the highlight of our season of sprint races.
Charles Witz and Dries van Thor win an outstanding race. Once they've stopped hugging each other, they can talk to Gemma.
Charles, Dries, congratulations. Charles, come to you first of all. That was an incredible drive. Well, whilst Charles is celebrating, Dries, whose call was it to go on to slicks there?
To be really honest, it was not really mine either. It was actually my engineers. We have two great engineers. I mean, we've got a lot of good engineers in the team, but it was Wim and Charles who made the call. I personally, I knew it was going to be close, but because we have our engine in the rear, we never get the fronts to work, so that's what I actually thought. But yeah, I mean, what a great decision. It really came down to the last lap. I was in the beginning doubting, but at the end I should maybe, you know, next time, I mean, I trust them like day and night, but next time I just go blindly. But yeah, what a great race, honestly.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, Charles, Vincent, you came out of nowhere. We were all keeping our eyes on first and second, and all of a sudden you've peeled them all off.
Yeah, I mean, as we said at some point in the race, I was also doubting about the strategy, but as we say, we always learn, and this race I learned that I can always count on my team to provide us the best strategy and the best car. So extremely happy. So a big thank you again to the team, to Audi, to Dries, and to the whole crew. It's just an amazing way to finish off this great season.
Let's look at the race result. Charles Witz and Dries van Thor win. Well, that might, in a sense, from second on the grid, you might think, well, that was to be expected. It certainly doesn't tell you the whole story of what was a great second stint. Aurelian Panis and Patrick Niederhauser second, and Timur Boguslawski and Raffaele Macchiello's Mercedes led every lap apart from the last one. Simon Gachet and Christopher Hauser fourth, from a class-winning Ezequiel Perez Compact and Fabian Schiller sixth. A really good effort by Manuel Maldonado and start driver Nikolai Schiergaard ahead of Vincent Abril and Dennis Lind, Thomas Drouet and Casper Stevenson third in silver, 8th overall from Gilles Magnus and Nicholas Bart, and 10th in the top 10 after a pretty frustrating season, Eddie Cheever and Chris Froggatt. And so now the trophies to race winners Charles Witz and to Dries van Thor. Dries wets on a wet road, Charles slicks on a wet but drying circuit, and a last lap win gives Charles Witz and Dries van Thor a 4th Sprint Cup win and cements their championship success that they celebrated yesterday. And that is the end of Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe powered by AWS Sprint Cup for 2022. From Gemma Scott, John Watson and David Addison, it's goodbye from Valencia.